Hello students. In this session, you will be learning about a very interesting concept called vectors. Many a times we come across situation where we need to answer questions like how much should a person walk from a point A to a point B? If we say that the person has to walk, say 30 meters, it is not the enough information because we can walk 30 meters in any direction from point A. Therefore, it is very important to know the distance as well as the direction of the movement. Scalar quantity. A physical quantity which has only magnitude is called a scalar quantity. Example, height, mass, temperature, etc. Nextly, vector quantity. A physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction is called a vector quantity. Example, velocity, force, acceleration, etc. A vector is geometrically represented as a directed line segment. For example, let A be the initial point and B be the terminal point, and let the direction start from A and go towards the point B. In that case, this represents geometrically the vector AB, and the notation for this vector is given by, the notation is, we write AB with a arrow head on it, and also this particular notation is used to represent the magnitude or length of vector AB. Length of vector AB. Position vector. Consider the three-dimensional coordinate system. Let this be x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Consider a point P in space with coordinates x, y and z. Then the vector OP with O as the initial point and P as the terminal point is called as the position vector of a point P with respect to origin. Let us assume that vector OP is equal to vector R. Then the magnitude of vector OP, which is equal to magnitude of vector R, is obtained by applying distance formula for the line segment OP, and we get it as square root of x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 0 whole square plus z minus 0 whole square. So we have magnitude of vector OP to be equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square. Now coming to direction cosines and direction ratios. Consider the three-dimensional coordinate system. X-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Consider the position vector OP of a point P with coordinates x, y and z. So we have a point P with coordinates x, y, z, and its position vector, let it be vector OP. Let us assume that vector OP makes angle alpha with x-axis, beta with y-axis and gamma with z-axis. In that case, the angles alpha, beta and gamma are called as direction angles. Direction angles. And cos of these angles, that is cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma, are called as the direction cosines. Direction cosines are usually represented using the notation L, M and N.
Let vector OP be equal to vector R, and let us draw perpendiculars from the point P to the coordinate axis OX, OY and OZ. In that case, your L equal to cos alpha, from the first right angle triangle we can see that cos alpha is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. Therefore, we have cos alpha is x by r. Similarly, M equal to cos beta would be equal to y by r, and N equal to cos gamma would be equal to z by r. Therefore, we have x is equal to LR, y is equal to MR and z is equal to NR. And these numbers are proportional to the direction cosines L, M and N. And the numbers which are proportional to direction cosines are called as direction ratios.
Yes. Now let us discuss on types of vectors. Firstly, zero vector. A vector whose initial and terminal points coincide is called a zero vector. And a zero vector is denoted using this notation. We read it as zero vector. And also the vectors vector AA, vector BB, vector CC represent zero vector. Now coming to unit vector. A vector whose magnitude is 1 unit is called a unit vector. Suppose that there is a vector AB and whose length, that is magnitude, is equal to 1 unit. Then vector AB would represent a unit vector. And unit vectors are usually denoted using the notation A cap. Co-initial vectors. Two or more vectors having the same initial points are called as co-initial vectors. Suppose there is a point A and there are three vectors given by vector AB, vector AC and vector AD. Then we can see that all the three vectors have got a common initial point. Therefore, vector AB, vector AC and vector AD are examples of co-initial vectors. Collinear vectors. Two or more vectors are said to be collinear if they are parallel to the same line irrespective of their magnitude and direction. Suppose that there is a vector AB, vector AB in this direction, vector CD, and the third vector, let us take it as vector EF, You can see that these three vectors are parallel to each other. irrespective of their magnitude and direction. Therefore, they form or they are the examples of collinear vectors. Now coming to equal vectors. Two vectors are said to be equal if they have same magnitude and direction irrespective of their initial points. Suppose that there is a vector AB. Okay, let us take vector AB equal to vector A. There is another vector CD. Okay, vector CD, let it be equal to vector B. Then you can see that these two vectors have same magnitude and same direction. Therefore, they form equal vectors, and we write vector A is equal to vector B. Now coming to negative of a vector. Negative of a vector is a vector whose magnitude is same as that of the given vector but has opposite direction. Let AB be the given vector, then the negative of this vector would be the vector BA. In the opposite direction. In that case, we say that vector BA is equal to minus of vector AB. Now, coplanar vectors. Two or more non-zero vectors lying on the same plane or parallel to the same plane are called coplanar vectors. Okay. So, any two vectors which lie on the same plane or which are parallel to the same plane would form coplanar vectors. Coming to addition of vectors. Let us assume that vector AB is equal to vector A and vector BC is equal to vector B. That is, let vector AB be equal to vector A and let this be equal to vector B. In that case, vector AC would be equal to vector AB plus vector BC. That is equal to vector A plus vector B. This is called as triangle law of vector addition. That is, if vector A and vector B represent two adjacent sides of a triangle, then its third side is given by vector A plus vector B. So, this particular law is called as triangular law of vector addition. Now, coming to parallelogram law of vector addition. Let vector AB be equal to vector A and vector AD be equal to vector B, where AB and AD represent two adjacent sides of a parallelogram A, B, C, D. In that case, the diagonal of the parallelogram through the common point of these two vectors is given by vector A plus vector B, both in magnitude and direction. So, this particular law is called as parallelogram law of vector addition. Now, coming to properties of vector algebra. Firstly, for any two vectors, vector A and vector B, vector A plus vector B is equal to vector B plus vector A. That is, vector addition is commutative. Okay. Second point, for any three vectors, vector A, vector B and vector C, it can be seen that vector A plus vector B plus vector C is equal to vector A plus vector B plus vector C. This particular equation is nothing but it says that vector addition is associative. Okay, vector addition is associative. Thirdly, for any vector A plus 0 vector would be equal to 0 vector plus vector A, that is equal to vector A. Okay, and also it can be seen that vector A plus minus of vector A is equal to 0 vector, which is equal to minus of vector A plus vector A. Let vector A be a given vector. Let vector A be a given vector and lambda be a scalar. Lambda be a scalar. Then the product of vector A by the scalar lambda is denoted by lambda vector A. Okay, is denoted by lambda times vector A, and this is called as multiplication of a vector by a scalar. And it could also be noted that magnitude of lambda A vector is equal to magnitude of lambda into magnitude of vector A. So lambda into vector A represents the multiplication of a vector by a scalar. Components of a vector. Let I cap, j cap and k cap denote the unit vectors along the positive direction of x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively. Let P be a point in space with coordinates x, y and z. Then OP denotes the position vector of the point P with respect to O. Then we can prove that the position vector of the point P, that is OP vector, is equal to x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. This form of a given vector is called as its component form, where x, y and z represent the scalar components and x I cap, y j cap, z k cap represent the vector components. Note. First point, if A and B are any 2 points, then vector AB is equal to vector OB minus vector OA. That is, vector AB is equal to position vector of B minus position vector of point A. Second point is, if P1 of x1, y1, z1 and P2 of x2, y2, z2 are any 2 points, then vector P1, P2 is equal to x2 minus x1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap plus z2 minus z1 k cap. Third point, it can be proved that two vectors vector A and vector B are collinear if and only if vector A is equal to k times vector B for a non-zero scalar k. Fourth point, a unit vector along the direction of vector A is given by A cap is equal to A vector divided by magnitude of vector A. Section formula. The position vector of the point which divides the join of two given points A and B, whose position vectors are vector A and vector B in the ratio m:n internally, is given by m into vector B plus n into vector A divided by m plus n. Let us assume that A and B are the given points, and let P be a point which divides the line joining AB internally in the ratio m:n. Let O be a fixed point and the position vector of the point A is given to be vector A. The position vector of the point B is given to be vector B. We need to calculate the position vector of the point P. From the diagram, it can be seen that AP is to PB is equal to m:n. That is, we have AP divided by PB is equal to m by n. Cross multiplying and writing the equation in vector form, we get n into vector AP is equal to m into vector PB. So this is equal to n into vector AP is nothing but vector OP minus vector OA equal to m times vector PB is nothing but vector OB minus vector OP. Now solving for vector OP, we get, taking vector OP common, we have m plus n at the left hand side, and when the terms move towards the right hand side, we get m times vector OB plus n times vector OA. So your vector OP would be equal to m times vector OB is nothing but vector B plus n times vector OA is nothing but vector A divided by m plus n. P is to BP is equal to m is to n. Therefore, we get AP divided by BP is equal to m by n. Cross multiplying and writing it in vector form, we have n into vector AP is equal to m into vector BP. Now proceeding as we have proceeded for section formula in internal division, we will be able to get that vector OP is equal to m times vector B minus n times vector A divided by m minus n. A equal to I cap plus j cap plus 2k cap. We know the formula for unit vector, right? The formula for unit vector A cap is nothing but vector A divided by magnitude of vector A. So this would be equal to I cap plus j cap plus 2k cap divided by the magnitude of the given vector, that is square root of 1 square plus 1 square plus 2 square, that is equal to 4. Therefore, we have I cap to be equal to, therefore we have A cap to be equal to I cap plus j cap plus 2k cap divided by root 6. Second problem, find the unit vector in the direction of the vector PQ, where P and Q are the points 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. We know to calculate the vector joining two points. PQ vector would be equal to x2 minus x1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap plus z2 minus z1 k cap. Therefore, your vector PQ is equal to 4 minus 1, that is 3 I cap, plus 5 minus 2, that is 3 j cap, plus 6 minus 3 plus 3 k cap. You need to calculate the magnitude of vector PQ. Magnitude of vector PQ is equal to square root of 9 plus 9 plus 9, that would be equal to root 27. Let us name vector PQ to be equal to vector A. Then the required vector would be equal to A cap. And A cap is equal to vector A divided by magnitude of vector A. So substituting, your vector A is equal to 3I cap plus 3j cap plus 3k cap divided by magnitude of vector A, that is root 27. You could simplify the vector to 1 divided by root 3 I cap plus 1 by root 3 j cap plus 1 by root 3 k cap. Problem number 3. Find a vector in the direction of the vector 5I cap minus j cap plus 2k cap which has magnitude 8 units. Since the required vector should have magnitude 8 units, we can write the required vector is equal to 8 times A cap. So this would be 8 times vector A divided by magnitude of vector A. That is equal to 8 times vector A is nothing but 5I cap minus j cap plus 2k cap divided by its magnitude, that is root of, we have 25 plus 1 plus 4. So this would be equal to 40I cap minus 8j cap plus 16k cap divided by root 30. Find the direction cosines of the vector joining the points A of 1, 2, minus 3, B of minus 1, minus 2, 1 directed from A to B. Let us first find what is vector AB. Vector AB would be equal to minus 1 I cap plus minus 2 j cap plus 1 plus 3 k cap. So vector AB is equal to minus 2 I cap minus 4 j cap and plus 4 k cap. So this is your vector AB. Let us calculate the magnitude of vector AB and name this particular value as equal to R. Magnitude of vector AB is equal to 4 plus 16 plus 16, that is equal to root 36 equal to 6. Now we know the formula to find the direction cosines. Formula for L is x by R, which is equal to, the value of x is minus 2 and the value of R is 6, therefore you have minus 1 by 3. M is equal to y by R, therefore we have minus 4 by 6, that is equal to minus 2 by 3. Similarly, the value of n is equal to z by R, which would be equal to 4 by 6, that is equal to 2 by 3. Therefore, the direction cosines are minus 1 by 3, minus 2 by 3 and 2 by 3. Coming to the next problem here, show that the vectors I cap plus j cap plus k cap is equally inclined to the axis OX, OY, OZ respectively. Let vector A equal to I cap plus j cap plus k cap make angle alpha, beta and gamma with positive direction of x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. And also magnitude of vector A is equal to square root of 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is equal to root 3. L, that is equal to cos alpha, is nothing but x by r. Therefore we have 1 by root 3. M, that is equal to cos beta, is nothing but y by r. Therefore we have 1 by root 3 again. N, that is equal to cos gamma, is nothing but z by r. Therefore it is again equal to 1 by root 3. So it can be observed that alpha, beta and gamma, all these angles are nothing but they are same. They are equal to cos inverse of 1 by root 3. Which means that the vector A makes equal angle, or it is equally inclined to the coordinate axis. Therefore, vector A is equally inclined, vector A is equally inclined to OX, OY and OZ. I hope this session was helpful to you. Thank you.